Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. So I'm hoping you can hear me. Hi. Sound okay? You can see me? Sound is okay? All right. So I'm hoping to have these little short breaks, yoga, maybe qigong, maybe little self massage throughout the day, because I know a lot more of us are spending time sitting around a computer, kind of turning into that golem shape from Lord of the Rings, right? Kind of hunching over. So we want to have something where we circulate the body a little differently, get a little more blood moving, a little more energy moving, and hopefully support our natural immune response, and also just to feel better, right? Feel connected and feel better. Let me just check. All right, good. Okay. So today's yoga break is going to be focused more on the lower half of the body, the feet, the legs, and then up into the spine a little bit. Next week, we'll focus on maybe the upper half of the body. We'll see what we get through today. So I thought we would start just seated, and you can sit on a chair or a couch if that's more comfortable for you, or you can sit upright. I'm sitting on a cushion, but you also could just sit on a stack of pillows or blankets, whatever works for you, okay? But whatever position you do find yourself in, try not to be in that computer C-shaped slump, right? So sit up tall and lengthen the back of your neck. And then let's bring our hands to the lower part of the ribs. So if you can, if your shoulders allow you to wrap your hands around your ribs, please do that. If that's hard on your shoulders, or you find that you're having to hike your shoulders up into your ears, then you're welcome to try just bringing your hands and wrapping them around the front of you this way. Okay, but I want you to be able to feel your ribs. And we're going to take a few breaths in and out, and just feel how the ribs move, or maybe feel how the ribs don't move. Keep the breath very smooth and steady. And then these next few breaths, see if you can encourage a bit more width between your hands on the inhale, and then a narrowing on the exhale. It's a little bit like your abdominal organs are now practicing this social distancing that the rest of us are practicing. So inhale, let them expand. Exhale, let them narrow. And just see how that feels. And take a few more breaths that way. Even if you don't feel a lot of movement, invite the idea of it in. Good. And then release your hands, but see if you can continue to breathe here. Continue to expand and then narrow. Okay. So if you're just joining, all we've done so far is breathe. Just breathe into the ribs. Okay. Now we're going to shift our attention to the physical body. So we're going to start with our feet. And let's try just crossing one leg over the other so that you have access to the bottom of your foot. And then, so I have my left ankle crossed, and I'm going to use the knuckles of my right hand. That's the easiest for me to massage the bottom of my foot. If you have the other leg crossed, then you'll switch it, but do what works best for you. And you're just going to massage, you know, not too gently so that it feels like a tickle, but not so strong that you injure yourself. So you're just massaging the plantar fascia at the bottom of your foot. Yeah. Good. And then take your fingers. So see this big toe joint? See how it bends quite a bit? It's kind of the superstar of the feet. So go ahead and take your fingers over all 5 of the toes, and you're going to make that same big toe joint bend, but make that happen in all of the rest of the toes, okay? Nothing else changes. We're not bending and flexing at the ankle. So we're just bending and flexing, or flexing and extending at the toe joints. And get the little toe in there as well. Of course, if you've got some hardware in there, some pins, some plates, then you're not going to do this. You're going to do whatever you can to mobilize the joint while remaining pain-free. Okay, so that's the start of the movement. And now we do involve the ankle, and this is what you know more of as a flex and a point. But the toes are still being flexed and extended too. So the whole foot now is getting involved. 26 bones in that foot. See how many joints you can mobilize. Okay. Good. And then we're going to release the toes, but just start to circle this ankle now. And as you circle the ankle, you might need to slide the leg over so that the bony part of the lateral malleolus doesn't dig into your thigh. As you circle the ankle, instead of just kind of doing this, you know, spacing out, but really go slowly, spreading the toes and feeling the full range of motion of your ankle. And then go the other direction. Yeah, I find for myself, I have to spread the toes of both feet. So you'll notice that my extended leg toes are also on alert. That's the way that I get my feet to respond. Okay. And then we'll let that ankle relax. Now just take hold of the thigh of the same leg. We're still working with the same leg. I want you to hold the thigh in place and start to make circles with the whole lower leg. So at first it feels like it's just the big toe, maybe circling on the screen in front of you. But it's the knee that's actually rotating. The ankle, we already messed with the ankle, so leave the ankle alone at this point. Good, and then let's go the other way. You might even need to lean back a little bit to make this happen more comfortably. Yep, so that's your knee. If there's clicks and clacks, you just give it some love. And then we're going to set the ankle back on the thigh. So same leg still, but now we're moving on to the hip. So breathe in, draw that knee towards your chest. Feel the stretch in the outer hip buttock. Breathe out, push the knee away. Yeah, breathe in, knee comes towards you. Breathe out, push the knee away. And just go back and forth that way slowly. considering that hip joint and all that it does. I'm just sending it some love. Good. Okay. And then we're going to leave the leg in that open position. Keep the ankle flexed. Sit up nice and tall. You might be starting to feel the stretch in the outer hip. Those of you who are of the more bendy variety of humans, you'll need to use these arms like forklift and lift up the shin. Sit up nice and tall. Now you've got your stretch. Now, if you're really, really bendy and you're waiting for the stretch to happen, then you can place the shin between your two elbows, kind of cradling the leg. Might even rock a little bit side to side. Just breathe and feel. Sending some love to that hip. Good. And then we'll release that leg. Whew, and feel the difference in your toes, your ankles, your knees, your hips. Let's go to the other side. So now it's the opposite ankle. For me, that's my right ankle on top of the left thigh. Bring the knuckles of your other hand to the bottom of your foot. Yeah. And you can do this in a chair. So if you're watching me from your computer desk, just try maybe slipping off your shoes if you're wearing shoes and just rub the bottom of your foot. It's a really powerful thing to do, even though it's awfully simple. Okay. And then we're going to bring our fingers to the big toe and actually all the toes and just start to create that bend at the kind of the knuckle of the toes, right? Back and forth. Just the toes for now. Just see how that is. How much walking are you doing these days? Okay. And then once you get the hang of that, then start to add the ankle. So the whole foot, including the knuckles of the toes or including the joints of the toes, the whole foot gets involved. Good. Yeah. Okay. And then you're going to let go of the foot and just circle. But as you circle the foot around, see what, how big of a circle you can make. And I use the term circle loosely because, you know, it might be kind of a blobby shape that you're describing with your ankle. All right, let's go the other direction. There'll be some parts of that circle that the ankle just sort of jumps over because it's tight. It's not quite a ball and socket like the hip joint. Yeah. Good. Okay, so then we leave the ankle alone, take hold of that thigh. So you're going to hold the thigh in place. You might need to lean back a little bit. And then just start to circle the shin around, warming up the knee. I don't know about you, but I'm doing a lot more sitting these days. So my feet, my knees, my hips are all not very happy about that. Let's go the other direction. So these very passive, by passive I mean not weight bearing, these passive movements for the joints I find to be really helpful in my body, and I hope that they're helpful for you too. Okay, now we're going to take that ankle back to the thigh and we'll move into the hip joint. So remember, we gather the knee in, and it feels better to inhale as we do this part and then exhale as we do this part. But if you have a different idea, go ahead and do that. Yeah. Make sure you're not hurting yourself, your thigh, with this ankle. I find I have one ankle that's a little bonier than the other. So I have to put something on. Sometimes I'll have to put something on top just to give it a little bit more padding. Oh, that feels good, doesn't it? Yeah. So remember, these are fine to do sitting at your desk. If you do have a wheeled chair, though, you want to make sure that you've you're not going to go flying anywhere, okay? One foot very firmly planted on the floor. Okay, and then we're going to leave the leg in that open position. Use your forklift arms to pick the leg up, flex that ankle, and sit up nice and tall. Yeah. And those of you who are bendier, you might feel the need to cradle that shin. If this feels like science fiction to you, yeah, just imagine that I have, you know, CGI going on. Okay, and then go ahead and release that. Let me fix that. Okay, so that's the legs. And now we're going to come into butterfly pose. So bottoms of the feet together, knees open. This is sometimes called butterfly, sometimes called cobbler. In Sanskrit, it's Baddha Konasana, right? If you are seated in a chair, then you'll do this one leg at a time. So you'll start off just by bringing the legs in an open position and sitting up nice and tall. Then hinging from your hips, lean forward just enough to feel the stretch along the inner legs. Okay? And just pause. Once you get that edge of the stretch, just pause and breathe. And there's lots of room now for the abdominal organs. So remember, we're playing with this idea of social distancing. So social distancing our abdominal organs, inhaling, let them all expand, and then exhaling, let them all come back together, which is what we're all going to do when this is over. One big global group hug. All right, go ahead and come out of that and just pause for a moment. And if you're seated in the chair, this is the time to switch to the other leg. We're going to come back into our forward fold. Maybe this time it goes a little deeper. And you're breathing and noticing habits. This is one I catch people a lot of times with the habit of jutting the chin out. They want to stretch more by reaching the chin out. So see if you can maintain length through the back of your neck and let your shoulders drop. And breathe. Good. Okay. And then come back up. All right. And then now we're going to stretch the outer thigh. So one leg down, the other leg's going to cross over. And for some of us, it might be appropriate to fold the leg back, fold the foot back, and drop the two knees towards each other. For others, you might be sitting here wondering what the heck I just did. So if this is the case, this is where you're at today. All right, so don't push anything, don't strain anything. Definitely protect that knee. All right, and if you are seated, then this is just a crossing of the thighs as high up on the thighs as you can get. All right, so sit up nice and tall. And in fact, let's raise the arms up. Oh, have you raised your arms up today yet? Nice big stretch for the arms. Lengthen your spine, keeping the arms raised. Go ahead and rotate towards this foot. So the leg that's on top, rotate towards that foot. And then come back to center and rotate the other direction. Yeah, and we're going to stay rotated this direction. Bring one arm down behind you, holding either the seat of your chair or whatever it is you're sitting on. Bring the other arm or the other hand to your bent knee, your top leg, and you can add a slight amount of pressure to deepen the twist, but don't go so strongly that it's more the arms than the spine, okay? And then unwind. And let's switch legs. So now the other leg comes on top, whichever one that was for you. And remember, if you're here, that's where you are today. Leave it alone. Don't try to force it. We want to respect where the body is today as it changes. All right, then the arms go up. And we want to twist in the open position first. So towards that foot that's sitting on top, towards that foot. See what that's like. And then twist away from it. See what that's like. And then we lower our back arm to rest against something. That back arm is really kind of a kickstand to keep your spine upright. And then this front arm goes to the thigh, the top leg, the knee or the thigh, whatever you can reach. And you're breathing. Okay, and then go ahead and unwind. Okay, so now we're going to come into your version of Upavishta Konasana. So the legs are going to open a little bit. Oh, I like this view because it looks like I have really long legs, which I don't in real life. So it is kind of a special effect. So legs are open. You've got enough height up underneath your hips so that you can sit up tall with very minimal effort. If you're sitting in the chair, just separate the legs a little wider than you normally would. Okay. And we're going to take, I'm going to take my left hand to the floor, or you might grab the seat of the chair. Yeah. And you're going to bring the right arm up or upward. At the same time, I want you to bend that wrist, almost like you're holding up the ceiling. And I'm sorry, my hand is going a little bit out of the view there. So you're holding up the ceiling and pushing the palm away. And then start to swing this arm back behind you, only to the point where you feel the inside of the arm and the armpit getting a nice stretch. So pause there, see how that feels. And then if it's okay, you can start to bend this, let's call it the standing arm, bend the standing arm, maybe lean a little more to the side. Yep, you're still holding up the ceiling and swinging the arm a little behind you. Good. And then come back to center and slowly let this arm come down, feeling the blood returning. Oh, I just love that. That sensation of the blood rushing through my fingers. Okay, let's go to the other side. This hand lands, other arm goes up. Remember, you're going to bend at the wrist and hold the ceiling up. And then slide the arm back just until you feel a little bit of a pull or zing at the armpit and the side. And then once you're there, begin to bend this elbow, coming a little more into your side bend. Good. And then up you come. Yep. Ah. Nice. All right, so let's just do a little bit of moving the spine. Inhale, arching the back. Exhale, rounding the back. Tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. Get your C curve going. And then move out of the C curve, drawing your shoulders back, shoulder blades towards each other. And exhale and round. And just do that a couple more times. Inhale and arch. And exhale and round. And let's end on that arch. So inhale and arch, sit up really tall. And then as you exhale, just bring the shoulders down, chin down. Yeah. And breathe. Breathe into your ribs. Breathe out of your ribs. Making that space for the abdominal organs. So social distancing for your abdominal organs. And we'll take one more breath here. This time, open the arms really wide. This is the preparation for our big global group hug that we're going to do when we're all done. And then go ahead and wrap your arms. Sorry, this is going to get loud. Wrap your arms around your chest. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.